is the JTV Caribbean News segment. I am Sean Rose. Martinique is planning to develop an ocean thermal energy project. Ocean thermal energy uses the heat energy stored in the ocean to generate electricity. According to Carib Journal, Martinique's plan would involve the construction of a floating central thermal energy plant off the coast of the island. The floating plant would have a net capacity of 10.7 megawatts. Earlier this month, the European Commission approved the allocation of public funding for the project, which is being jointly developed by Martinique's government, the Accure Energy Company, and DCNS Group. Martinique government said the project represented a promising technology not only for Martinique, but also for the whole Caribbean and tropical environments. The project is part of Martinique's NEMO program, or the New Energy for Martinique and Overseas, which seeks to diversify the island's energy sources away from fossil fuels. The world's only existing ocean thermal energy plant is located in Japan. The U.S. Virgin Islands government's Bureau of Economic Research released results of an impact analysis conducted to gauge the effect that the loss of more than a dozen cruise ship calls would have on the territory. The impact analysis was developed at Governor John DeYoung's request following his call for a special session of the legislature to address a critically needed major coastal permit. The USVI governor said it is important that his fellow elected leaders of the government not take lightly the importance of approving the permit for the Port Authority to continue the dredging project in the Krung Bay area. He said the reality is the USVI stand to lose more than $18 million in activity if the USVI Port Authority is not able to complete the project by the November 2014 deadline. DeYoung said the USVI cannot afford to wait because if USVI cannot accommodate the cruise ships, they will go to another port. Cayman Islands government has revealed plans to improve the territory's airport infrastructure. Cayman's Deputy Premier, Honorable Moses Corconnell, stressed the need to move quickly to improve Cayman Islands' 3 airports. The project is estimated to cost around $122 million over the next 18 years. However, Cayman government cannot borrow money for long-term public projects. Here is more in this report filed by Cayman 27's Joe Avery.
So this is an outline of as quickly as we can move this forward.
From the podium, Deputy Premier Moses Kirkconnell stressed the need to move quickly with plans to improve Cayman's 3 airports.
We plan for the request for proposal for construction to go out in January, and we hope to have that contract signed and construction on the new terminal, the bricks and mortar part of it, to actually start in April or May.
Around 1 million passengers fly in and out of Owen Roberts International Airport a year on 24,000 flights, twice what it was designed to handle.
The bricks and mortar can't be built as quickly as it needs to be.
Mr. Kirkconnell says these airport improvements are key to building on 2 years of growth in stayover tourism.
Short term, we're very interested in what's going to happen in the upcoming season and how we keep that level of service at a point where it reflects our destination and the service that they get.
CETA President Kenneth Hyde says he applauds the sense of urgency behind the project.
That's a pretty aggressive timeline. If they can meet that, I would, as a president of the association, I would feel that would be really great.
Priority items in the plan include addressing shortfalls to the Owen Roberts terminal, building a new airport in Little Cayman, and ensuring long-term capacity. A tall order for a government facing financial constraints.
We could not borrow money. The challenge of building a new terminal from cash and from cash flow is what we were tasked with doing. And we didn't back down from it. We hit it straight on.
Joe Avery, Cayman 27.
Cuba and China signed the 29 bilateral cooperation accords during an official visit to the Caribbean island by Chinese President Xi Jinping recently. The accords, aimed at further strengthening economic, commercial, and cultural relations, included a framework agreement for collaboration in cyberspace, the granting by China of a line of credit to build a multipurpose terminal at the Santiago de Cuba harbor, an interest-free credit line, and a donation. Other documents signed focused on transfer of technology, the development of renewable energies, biotechnology, environment monitoring, and the setting up of a Cuba-China pilot farm. The two sides also signed protocols to control the quality of tobacco and sugar being exported to China, the increase of participation in the oil sector, and the setting up of a corporation to be named Belo Monte S.A. Bilateral exchange in the education sector was also included in the accords. During the two-day official visit, the Chinese president held talks with Cuban President Raul Castro with an emphasis on the implementation of a bilateral economic agenda. The Chinese head of state also met with former Cuban President Fidel Castro. St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves was heckled at the funeral of political activist and radio commentator Eduardo Igilinch held July 19 in Georgetown, St. Vincent. SVG's Searchlight newspaper online reported that when Gonsalves approached the podium to speak during the funeral service held at the Georgetown Anglican Church, he was met with resounding boos, jeering, and ringing of a bell. The ceremony had to be halted as Lynch's daughter, Shafia London Williams, appealed for calm, but to no avail. Gonsalves said a few words which could not be heard above the din, but later that evening delivered his tribute via radio. Political activist and radio commentator Eduardo Igilinch died recently after a prolonged illness at the age of 67. For the JTV Caribbean News, I am Sean Rose.
And coming up next on JTV News, Peebles Hospital to become a certified baby-friendly hospital and plans to offer telestroke service. A new era for sport tourism as Greenland Stadium kicks off with groundbreaking. Afaya and Jaquai Fret win the 60th Festival Prince and Princess Crowns. And our special Diamond Jubilee Festival features continue on the elite sky dancers and the mystery that surrounds Mucko Jumbies.